Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm Kalikaiz and today we are playing Force of Will. Pauper's Force of Will is foil. You can discard an island card and another card rather than pay this spell's mana cost to counter target spell. This is pretty good in Pauper Blue-White Familiars because the deck the deck is a little bit clunky, right? We have 5 drops, we have 4 drops. Everything is expensive. So we need to tap out. That means foil can be used as a counterspell during our opponent's turn without having to keep mana open. We have lots of good pitchables. In this version of the deck, I am going back to older style. I'm not playing my 4 ponders. Instead, I have just basically maxing out on all the things in the deck. We have 3 Deep Analysis to pitch to the foil. We also have 3 Prismatic Strands. I've noticed an uptick in things like Rally Red, things like Mono Red Axe. Obviously, Madness Burn is very prevalent as well. Prismatic Strands is very well positioned in the metagame. We have 4 Modern Ages as our looters, which also it allows us to have a 2/3 flyer to beat down eventually. That means we don't have to play a win condition. We don't have to play Murmuring Mystic. We can attack with our Modern Age and our Muldrifters and get the job done. I also have 4 Faithfuls. So a traditional control deck would be playing things like Removal, Lightning Bolt, Scred, stuff like that. Instead, we have god-pharoah's Faithful, which is a soft removal spell in that a small creature can't really attack into it profitably unless they have a bolt to follow it up, of course. And multiples of these makes you out of range with the infinite life win condition as well. If our opponent has infinite life, we can recur Deep Analysis by flickering 2 Archaeomancers and then point the Deep Analysis at our opponent to try to get them to deck out. It's a much more complicated way of making it happen. Prismatic Strands has been better than Stonehorn Dignitary in Pauper for a while, in my opinion. And if we have 3 strands in the main deck, it could make us better versus things like Elves, which has been a bad matchup. In the sideboard, we have 2 Last Breath, which is pretty good versus Elves. We have Dust to Dust versus Affinity. I'm going to bring in a Revoke Existence as well in sideboard. We have 2 Prohibits, 2 Negates, and then 4 Hydroblast. That's pretty much the deck. I have not liked playing Lorien Revealed in my style of the deck because I think that it is a little bit clunky. It just sits in your hand as a tap land in the early game, and then later slamming this into a counterspell feels really bad. But obviously, if you can just resolve it, it's amazing. I just don't know if familiars can get to that point. But regardless, we are testing things. We're trying things out. And we'll try to have some fun with Blue-White Familiars combo control. I will see you in the matches.
This video is brought to you by Card Market, Europe's largest TCG marketplace. Unplugged Gaming in Manlius, New York is having their first ever Pauper 1K. This is a $30 entry that starts at 1 p.m. on August 15th. 70% of the entries will go straight to prizes up to a 64-player cap. Just outside of Syracuse, New York, this event is going to be sweet.
Okay, round number 1, we're versus Casanova 13. I don't know what they are up to. I have 2 lands to get my familiar. They are on Spy. So Prismatic Strands is good versus Spy in the main deck. I'm just going to cycle and grab my planes. Turn to Modern Age, discard Strands, and then play the familiar out. It's also good to have foil versus the Spy deck, but might not necessarily get there. They could have a turn 3 here. They've gotten 3 lands out of their deck already. So I can just snap the Elf. So they don't have black mana for this turn. Bounce the Elf, untap, play Modern Age. We'll discard the Prismatic Strands. That was a pretty good draw. Now I can untap, play Familiar, play Island, pitch the Deep Analysis to the Modern Age, and then draw 2 cards. Opponent casts Lead the Stampede. They have the Spy. All right, scary. Plays Elves of Deep Shadow. We'll draw and discard. Discarding the Deep Analysis, play land, play Familiar, and I will draw 2 cards. I found a foil now, so I'm like triple-double protected. We'll see if it'll be good enough. They might just start spying me or casting big creatures. They go for a Asagu Wildling. They gain 3 life. Now they've got a beater in the air. My turn. Okay, so we flipped the Vector Glider. We're going to cycle for an island and then just bounce the Sagu and hardcast a Mole Drifter. See if I can draw an island. Okay, so now I have foil pitching Prismatic Strands. I cast an Overgrown Battlement. This is crazy. I think I am going to focus on stopping their card draw now. They have 4 cards in hand. Pays 5 mana. They get a Sagu again. Okay. Alright, so lands out of their deck, Sagu's out of their deck. Let's cast a Preordain. Okay, Flicker and a Familiar. So I will top and top, play land, play out the Familiar. And now my foil is a hardcast counterspell. There's another Sagu. Okay. They're gonna get in. So I can Strands on green block. They have 3 cards in hand. I have foil. I think I'm just going to block and then Strands on green. See if I can get them to kill themselves. Play blockers. We will block and block. Strands on green. So now they maybe cast a spy. No effects. Targets themselves. Okay, they're decked out. They can now double Dread Return. They could Dread Return a Mezfiend first. So I guess they're playing around Counterspell, but it doesn't actually matter because I have foil and then I have foil pitching Strands. So I have all of my avenues covered. Counterspell. And then they will Dread Return again. I mean, my deck was fully set up to beat this. And we drew well. Pitch the Strands. Goodbye, Dread Return. You have no cards. You have 2 cards in hand. We win the game. Sweet. All right. Game 1 is over. So we can just cut the Faithfuls, bringing in Last Breath, bringing in Negate. I'm not sure if the Prismatic Strands are just not going to do it, because they're likely to have Flaring Pain. But Prismatic Strands is a solid pitch to my Modern Ages. This would give me 6 counterspells, 2 removals. I think I'll try it like this. Okay, here we go. Opponent is on the play. I have Modern Age pitch Strands. Double Ephemerate's mid, but we can move through the deck using the Modern Age, and I can snap something. Cerulean Caretaker represents red for Flaring Pain. I'll play Island and pass the turn. I'll probably want to use my snap to get rid of an Overgrown Battlement if they play one this turn. I guess their best play would be like Wall of Roots into Overgrown Battlement by tapping. They cast a land grant, fails to find a forest. What does that even mean? Okay. I'll just Modern Age then. I think they messed up. We'll discard the Strands. There's no way so they just have 3 forests in their hand? Cycle's a generous end. They get a forest. So they just messed up pretty bad there. Unfortunate. Alright, we'll draw. Discard Prismatic Strands. Play a Floodplain. Another Modern Age. Discard the Deep Analysis. I mean, my Modern Age is looking really good right now. Cast the Sagu Wildling, which gives them the Swamp. And then they cast a Lead the Stampede. So that's not great for me. I think I probably snap their creature, Mancer back to snap. The Lead the Stampede hit 5, it looks like. Okay, we find a Familiar off the top. Draw. I'll discard this Preordain. Play Ash Barrens. 1/2. Sunscape. Bounce the Caretaker. Untap, untap. And then we'll go Mancer. Get back, snap. Send it over. With Ephemerate in hand and snap, we're able to keep their board pretty clear. I wonder if they brought in 5 lands because they have Avenging Hunter now. Keeping the Caretaker off of the table means that they don't have red from that, but they could be playing something like the Jack-o'-lantern, and Jack-o'-lantern gives them red from the graveyard if they have extra mana. Plays a Wall of Roots and a Caretaker. And another Caretaker. Okay. We find a Mole Drifter. So I can bounce this, Ephemerate, bounce, and then play Mole Drifter. Just sets them back a full turn. Snap the Caretaker. Untap. Ephemerate the Mancer. Grab the snap. What? They concede. We'll see you in round 2. Thanks for watching. Did you know you could get sideboard guides on patreon.com/Kalikaiz? And did I mention you can get early access to videos on the YouTube page in the membership section? And if you like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, round number 2, we're on the draw. I can foil something and then cast Deep Analysis. I think I'm keeping multiple foils, multiple Deep Analysis. Like, land grant turn 1 would be great. Opponent's on island. I'll play out of Floodplain. They cycle Lorien, regular island. So the 7th edition White Border Islands, 8th edition, okay. It makes me think that they are probably, in Modern Age, they're probably Mono Blue Terror. It's going to cycle for an island. And we will attempt to preordain. It does play into Spell Pierce, I suppose. Okay, these are both fine. Familiar and Island. They brainstorm. I would probably force or foil the first Tolarian Terror. Or maybe the second one if they tap out for it. And then I would untap and go Familiar plus draw 2. They thought to guard themselves. They have 5 in the graveyard, so tapping 2 mana can give them a snake. They have 3 mana available. They go for a Tolarian Terror. So if I foil right now, they just use a Spell Pierce, which is a big problem. I don't want to get wrecked by a Spell Pierce. So I guess they have a snake. Play Island. Play Familiar. I'll play the Modern Age to, I guess, root out their Spell Pierce. They didn't have Spell Pierce. I'll discard Deep Analysis. I'm pretty back against the wall here. They cycle a Lorien Revealed. It appears that I should have tried to counter. They have 4 cards in hand, 1 snake. They get in for 5. No more snakes. I mean, I obviously have to try. They have a Cryptic Serpent. I have to try to counterspell. They mental note. It just gets countered. Okay. No terror. Yay. We draw. We discard a Modern Age. We're going to flashback a Deep Analysis. Draw 2. This is also increasing their clock, which is bad for me. I'm going to go ahead and play land. Play Archaeomancer. Archaeomancer is going to grab, I guess, just Preordain. Archaeomancer is probably just going to chump. They'd have Demon Fear in the graveyard. I don't know if Archaeomancer needs to chump this turn. They're brainstorming, looking for another snake. I don't have an answer right now. This has always been one of the worst matchups for Familiars. I could have also played the Chancery. They Sleep of the Dead, so Mancer will not be blocking. And then they'll Sleep of the Dead the Familiar. Okay, so they will attack in for 5, putting me to 7. 2 cards in hand. Probably doesn't have a counterspell for the Muldrifter. We flip the Vector Glider. I'll slam the Muldrifter. No Force Spike. Okay, we found a Snap. So I will play the Chancery, picking up Island. What is my plan? They brainstorm. So they're going to have 2 good cards. Well, actually, this draws them a card, then they get another. They only have to have 1 of the cards they didn't want in their hand. 6 mana available. They should probably have not played the Island out because they needed it so they could flashback their card. Okay. They play Sleep of the Dead. So I'm actually not going to respond because I can snap their terror and then I can counterspell it. Sleep of the Dead again. Sure. They get in for 5. All right. Well, luckily I can pay for the snap. Let's go land. Bounce the terror. Pay for the ward. Untap. I'll play out a Muldrifter. I'm planning to use the Force of the Foil to counterspell, and I can pitch the Prismatic Strands, which is pretty good. We'll get in for 1. Sorry about that. I've been a little bit sick, so I'm trying to do what I can. Do I sound hoarse? I don't know. I have 3 cards in hand. Ace 3 mana for Tolarian Terror. I will attempt to counterspell, pitching the Prismatic Strands. So this doesn't beat a counterspell, but it beats a Spell Pierce. They have a counterspell. Okay. Tolarian Terror on the table. I have a lot of blockers, though. Let's preordain. What I need is a... Right, I mean, the Modern Age is fine. Top the Modern Age. Let's preordain again. I bottomed a Chancery, top the Modern Age. We find a Snap and a Familiar. So let's top, play the Familiar, play Chancery, pick up Island, play Modern Age. Modern Age is going to discard Plains. I'm going to attack. Pew, pew, pew. Maybe not. I'll leave backup Drifter. And then on their upkeep, I'm going to flash back the Strands. Flashing back the Strands on blue. Opponent ponders. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of good options. I can snap and replay a Muldrifter. We're still looking for a Faithful so I can get ahead on life and I can flash back the Deep Analysis. Right now I can't pay the 3 life for it. They've only had 2 threats so far, which is interesting. So I wonder if they ponder into a threat, play it, and then like threaten lethal. That would allow me to have fewer cards I have to play through. And the Modern Age is going to filter the island into something relevant, hopefully. Let's see if they shuffled. No. They kept it, but then they played their land out, so I only have to worry about 1 card. Oh no, we drew another land. Okay, discard island. We have Ghostly Flicker. So we're going to, I guess, attack with everything first. I think I can play through a single counterspell. They go to 9. We target the Archaeomancer and Muldrifter with Ghostly Flicker. All right, we'll return the Ghostly Flicker. Drawing 2 cards. There's a Faithful. So this is infinite life. We'll play land. We'll play god-pharoah's Faithful. And then Ghostly Flicker on Archaeomancer and Island. All right, resolves. I think I should just try to play through a Spell Pierce here. They concede. Nice. Well, that was great. That worked out amazingly. Now, I honestly don't think I have a good sideboard for this. The negate can be okay, but I still want the foils because it can stop the snakes in their tracks and it can help me. Try again. Okay, we're on the draw and we have no lands, so we mulligan. This one is solid. We'll keep. Well, I can put back the Preordain, or I can just keep something so I can go like Familiar, they counterspell it, and then I just Mortuary Mire back and cast it again. Because how many counterspells are they going to have in their opening hand? And if so, I guess I'm going to put back the Preordain. Island for the opponent. Play Floodplain, send it over. Opponent will Brainstorm on my end step, so they might just slap down a mental note on their upkeep to clear it. On their upkeep, they take the draw, play an island, and Delver of Secrets. So we'll play land and play Familiar. Delver will most likely flip. Flips on a Demon Inferior. They'll get in for 3. I'm at 17. I will attempt another Familiar. They counterspell. I will put the Familiar on top of my library and send it over. So this turn, if they have a land drop, they can Demon Inferior my current Familiar. They get in for 3. I got a 14. Let's go for god-pharoah's Faithful. Play land. Target myself with Deep Analysis. This is a problem into Spell Pierce, of course, but we're just making them use their cards. Maybe they just have Counterspell. They don't want to counterspell that. They let that go. 3rd land. So now they could Demon Inferior. If they Demon Inferior, I think I second from the top and then play a Muldrifter because the Muldrifter just trades with the insect. All right. I'm at 12. And I have Liquor. So I can play Sunscape. I think we're changing it up. We're going to pay 3 life, draw 2, go to 10 life, draw the Familiar. Let's cast a Preordain, see if I can find a snap. No snap, but I have Preordain Modern Age. I don't think the Modern Age is good in this spot. I'm going to bottom it. I'll top the Preordain, cast Preordain. Chancery Faithful. So these are both good, I think. I'll top and top. Pass the turn. Opponent attacks in for 3. No snakies. Let's attempt a Familiar. It snap resolves. Play the Chancery. Pick up Mortuary Mire. Slam a Muldrifter. I feel like this is going to get countered, but who knows. Because next turn I can play the Mortuary Mire and pick it back up. It just resolves. So things are happening. I will trade the Muldrifter on the Delver this turn, and then play Mortuary Mire, get back to Muldrifter, cast Muldrifter into Muldrifter. And I'm not sure how they can overpower me with that. Their draw has just been super slow, and they haven't had Counterspell. So it must have just not worked out on their end. Okay, they ended up shuffling. Feels like they just don't have anything. We find a foil? Wow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go god-pharoah's Faithful, and I will evoke. I can actually just hardcast the foil. Let's evoke a Muldrifter. Not sure how they beat this, because I'm going to be drawing 6 cards. Counterspell. I will respond. Counterspell. They found their counterspells eventually. Maybe they just had it in hand and they were just choosing to counterspell different things. And we will flicker 2 drifters. Gaining life. Drawing a bunch of cards and getting the concession. We'll see in round 3. Okay, round 3. We're on the play this time. Only 1 land, and it's Chancery. If this were an island, I probably would keep, but we are going to mulligan. I recognize that I've gone to 20 lands in my deck. All right, so this hand seems like it could be better, but we have no access to any of our cards, so I'm going to mulligan again. With this kind of big mulligan, so I guess we have to keep here. We'll get rid of one island, and then probably the Archaeomancer. We're hoping to draw some action cards, unfortunately. I'll play island and pass the turn. Urza's Power Plant and a map. So I think I am in the clear to just slam the familiar here. It's most likely going to be Monster Tron. And I mean, there is a chance that it's Flickertron, and if there's Flickertron, we want to get on the table as fast as possible anyway. So here's my familiar. I have 3 cards left, and they have 7. 6 now, obviously, with playing the tower, but they're about to get more. We'll go God-pharoah's Faithful into a Preordain. The thing is, I'm worried the most from... All right, we're going to bottom the lands, I think, and play island. The most worrisome card out of the Monster Tron deck on turn 3 would be a Pinnacle Kill Ship, taking out the Sunscape Familiar. So we'd have to snap the Sunscape Familiar in response, and then next turn play it plus Preordain. My opponent has a mine. They have no colors, apparently. They're just passing. We will start with a Preordain. I'm really looking... I mean, not sure. Strands and an island. So I can top and top, play the Modern Age, which discards the strands, and then I get to play the island and keep my creature alive. I like it. Play island. And now I'm looking for Muldrifter or Deep Analysis to try to claw back after my very, very deep mulligan. They have a forest, so it's Monstertron confirmed. Boulder Branch Golem, that's a 6/5. I can snap it. We draw a Faithful. Come on, something good. Draw a Foil. I mean, the Faithful is probably not doing too much. We will snap the Boulder Branch and then untap and pass it back. Still have to draw some cards to draw cards, but the Foil will time walk them if they cast their creature again. They decide to crop rotation. They might Bojuka Bog, getting rid of the Prismatic Strands. They got a Conduit Pylons. Okay, and then they kept it on top. Familiars can come back from this position, but playing off the top of the deck is pretty poor. They play the Boulder Branch. I'll counterspell. 0 cards in hand. Looking for a Drifter. We draw Deep Analysis. Yes! How about a draw 4? Boom! Draw 2 cards. Draw 2 more cards. Okay, Chancery would be great. We don't draw Chancery. We draw an Ash Barrens. I'll play that Barrens anyway because I want to keep making land drops. We could draw a Chancery later. We have another foil in hand. So if they play another like 6 or another 7 drop that they don't have the kill ship, I can go Mancer, snap it to 3. Yep, and then have foil open for the next time they cast it. They're making 8 mana. Not good. Oh no, okay. I think this is going to be the Bramble Worm. Okay, sure. Bramble Worm resolves. I have the Prismatic Strands for the worm, so I'm not worried this turn. Interesting. So we can Ghostly Flicker. I'm worried about them having... I guess I just hardcast Muldrifter. Draw 2 cards. Next turn, I can Archaeomancer for the snap. We have infinite, or semi-infinite snaps now. I can attack with the Vector Glider because my opponent has a reach creature. With 2 Archaeomancers, if I find an Azorius Chancery, then I can infinite snaps, because Ghostly Flicker would cost 1 and blue, and snap would cost blue, and I can make blue, white, blue. I'll get in for 7. I think I'll take the 7 this turn. I mean, maybe I should have Strands, because eventually they'll have a Bojuka Bog. Ooh, wow. They were playing to try to get me with the Breath Weapon. I guess I'm going to flash back to Strands now on red. So my laziness saved me there. That's crazy. Oh, I'll take it, though. They play a Haunted Fengriff. They can get back the Boulder Branch Golem. Cost them 3 mana. Plays a Genercent. Okay. We have another island. We'll go land. 1, 2, 3. Archaeomancer. Get back the snap. And put your creature back in your hand. Untap. Play Archaeomancer. Get back the snap. Snap the Genercent. Untap. I'll go ahead and attack. Pew pew. Now, if something really terrible happens, we can Ghostly Flicker, Archaeomancer Island. No, that doesn't work. So, never mind. I am not protected here. If I find an island, I could cast the foil. So I suppose if they cast a breath weapon, I think I have to flicker Mancer and Mole Drifter and try to draw it into an island. Okay, we'll return the Ghostly Flicker. If they have crop rotation here too, that would be also quite bad. They don't have the crop rotation right now, and we lose our Mancers and our Drifter. So if they have crop rotation into Bog at this point, I'm pretty toast. I would be down to just one Arcane Mancer and have to use Ephemerate to counterspell lock them. And if that's the case, our opponent is playing pretty slow, so I'd have to be worried about timing. So we'll preordain. I'm very worried about the Bojuka Bog now. Okay, snap. I don't know if I need the snap. I'm going to bottom the snap, top the Sunscape, play the Sunscape Familiar. Then I'll play Modern Age, and I'll discard the Deep Analysis and attempt to draw 2 cards. Okay, we have another island. I can get in for 2. I need to dig to a Mortuary Mire so I can get my Arcane Mancers back and then counterspell lock them before they have a Bojuka Bog. Candy Trail for the opponent. Okay. Casting a Genersent. Okay. Alright, my turn. Draw Island. Draw off the Modern Age. I'll discard this Prismatic Strands. I'll target myself with Deep Analysis. Draw 2 cards. Not making a land drop until I see if I can draw the Mortuary Mire. Another Deep Analysis, target myself. I got a 21, not 22. I have another foil. Cast a Modern Age. I'll discard this Faithful. Let's play Island. Put your Genersent back in your hand. Just be a little bit annoying. Untap. And swing in with the Vector Glider. Opponent cracks the Candy Trail to draw a card. And gain 3 life. They have an Ancient Stirrings. Fighting a Maelstrom Colossus. They choose to cast a Boulder Branch Golem. Okay. Having a hard time deciding like what to counter. Alright, my turn. We find the Arcane Mancer, so that's pretty good. And I have infinite life now. I can discard this Floodplain. Play Arcane Mancer. What do I want to get back? I think it's going to be Preordain. They're pausing on this. I feel like they have the crop. Get back to Preordain. Cast Preordain. With 26. Find a Drifter and an Island. I will bottom the Island, top the Mole Drifter. Slam the Drifter. So I hard cast Counterspell. You can also use the foil potentially. We'll draw 2 cards. Okay. Chancery. We have a Familiar. I think I'm just going to play the Chancery. Pick up the Ash Barrens. No tax. And then I'll discard the Ash Barrens. They force cycle a Genersent. So let's show them I have infinite life. Boop. Okay, they don't care. Fair enough. I gain 2 life. I'll discard the Ash Barrens. They play out of Forest. Maelstrom Colossus with Cascade. Okay. Unfathomable Truths. We're going to counterspell that. I'd rather you not draw cards. I want to draw cards. When it gets in for 6. We go to 24. Now it's the grind. The grind has started. Okay, my turn. Preordain. We flip the Modern Age. I just need to find a Mortuary Mire. Preordain. Chancery Snap. I will bottom and bottom. We'll start by attacking. Opponent goes to 30 or 29. I'll draw 2 with the Mole Drifter. Ephemerate would also be okay. Flicker Resolves. At some point, I also have to snap back the god-pharoah's Faithful just to like save on seconds on the clock. All right, let's go Modern Age. More threats are good. We'll discard a Plains. We find multiple Familiars. Play the Familiar. I'll play Mole Drifter. I right now have Hardcast Foil plus Foil. We find Ephemerate and a Mole Drifter. So I'll play Island and pass. They crack a clue, or a food. Gain some life. Go for Truths again. I'm going to counterspell again. They get in for a bunch. I'll just take it. We're at 16. They played a land. 6 mana for a Genersent. Okay. Alright, so let's flicker. Trying to draw the Mortuary Mire still. I have Hardcast, or I pitch foil, pitching the Familiar for a crop rotation. Get back the flicker. Draw Faithful. There's a Strands. We're going to draw. Discard the Strands. Going to Ephemerate the Arcane Mancer. Grab Preordain. As Preordain. There's the Mortuary Mire. Okay. So now we are looking safe. Mire. Get back Arcane Mancer. We'll go to attacks. I'll attack with the 2 Drifters. Boop boop. And I will flicker a Drifter Mancer. It'll take 2 damage. Return the flicker. When it takes 2, we'll play Archaeomancer and grab Foil. Send it over. And now I discard my excess creatures in my Chancery. So my plan is to just block their creatures. On their end step, I can, let's see. Right now they have 5, 11, 18 damage. I think I'm just going to block the Colossus with my Faithful, which saves me from having to snap it. I'll take 6 damage going to 14. They use their Haunted Fengriff. They return Genersent. Pay 6 mana. I'll counterspell the Genersent. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Return the counterspell. End step. We'll Ghostly Flicker. Turn Flicker. Turn Snap. If they have double crop they get me, counterspell the crop. Get back the snap. Alright, so now I'm nervous that something crazy is going to happen, so I'm just going to, I guess I just snap the Genersent. Untap. And then go to my turn. I'm glad I played through the crop. I knew that could happen. When it activates the clue, or activates the food. It's just crazy to me that people who are so behind on clock, like, refuse to not try to clock you. Sure, you are clocking me. We're going to Ghostly Flicker, Archaeomancer, and Mortuary Mire, and return an Archaeomancer, and then flicker again, and put a random creature on top that I don't care about, which would be, I guess we'll put the Moldrifter on top. Cast Drifter. Oh, I got rid of my lands. That's kind of a problem. And then, I guess for now, I'm just going to attack. I think what I'm going to do on blocks is block with my Archaeomancers and then flicker on the island, so I still have the untapped island. We'll counterspell the Genersent. I get in, I'll block, and block. And I will Ghostly Flicker on the island. So it's mana neutral, and I just untap my islands. End step, we're going to Ghostly Flicker, Archaeomancer, Island, and then get back Faithful, and then Ephemerate to get back the Foil, and do it again. Ephemerate for the Foil. Okay. Ephemerate, get back the Foil, get back the Ephemerate. We're just in garbage time, which is great. Feels good. Get back Ephemerate. My computer's moving a little slow, which is annoying. That's okay. Play Archaeomancer. We will play Chancery. Pick up the planes. Play Archaeomancer. Get a Foil. And then attack. Alright, we'll get rid of Faithful and planes. And I guess the Snap. One plays a Power Plant out. They're going to play the Brambleworm, which I think I counterspell. Counter. They can flash it back and then gain a bunch of life. Right now my machine is running slowly because we need to reduce, this is at 3.5 thousand megabytes. We need to restart the application after this game for sure. All right, we win. Okay, we're back. I don't have that much time to sideboard. So Prismatic Strands seems like it was okay, but not great. I think Dust to Dust is a solid one because they have a lot of artifacts. I'm going to cut a couple of Faithful. Wow, excuse me. Cut a couple of Faithfuls and cut a Strands and try it that way. And we're all right. So this hand is fine. Doesn't do very much, but we've got our lands. Lots of tap lands, but our opponent has a slow mana base as well. I've got the Snap, I've got Deep Analysis, Ghostly Flicker, and Ephemerate in my opener. Not amazing. Opponent plays a tower and a map. So we find a Faithful, play Mortuary Mire. What do I discard? They play out a Forest. We'll play Chancery, picking up the Mortuary Mire. What if I just discard? I can discard the Deep Analysis, but then I just draw a bunch more cards. It's kind of medium. I think I'm discarding the Deep Analysis anyway. Okay, what do they fetch with their land? They fetch the Mine. They play the Mine. They play another Expedition map. Man, we are just drawing kind of weird. Let's Deep Analysis, draw 2. Play the Mire. And then I have to discard. So I'll discard Faithful, Chancery. Weird. I know some of these decks have been playing Land Destruction in the post-board games, and that would be pretty bad for me. They play out a Power Plant. Boulder Branch Golem. Boulder Branch Golem. We'll play Chancery, picking up the Mortuary Mire, play the Familiar, and boing, bounce the Boulder Branch, and play Preordain. We draw Drifter and Archaeomancer. Okay, pretty nice. So I can just Drifter Ephemerate now. Draw 2. Sweet. And then I'll Ephemerate. Draw another 2. I will discard a Preordain. I think I'm going to want the foils later. Let's see if they cast the Boulder Branch again. All right, they're going red, so they Breath Weapon, which means now I have to Ephemerate the Familiar on upkeep, play the Mire to get back the Muldrifter, plays the Boulder Branch one more time. We will Ephemerate the Familiar. Mire, return the Muldrifter, bounce the Boulder Branch Golem, untap, play Archaeomancer, return the Ephemerate, Ephemerate the Archaeomancer, return the Snap. Next turn, I can go Drifter, Snap, Drifter a couple of times, and I can start it out by snapping their creature just to add an additional blue mana. Just going to keep gaining 5, 6 life over and over and over and over. Sure. Life totals don't matter that much to me. 6 mana for a Generous Ent. Okay. I mean, I could have maybe counterspelled. We have the Ephemerate. I'll Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Get back Ephemerate. Get rid of that one. Boing. And then bounce that one. Boing again. Well, evoke a Muldrifter. Draw 2 cards. Ghostly Flicker, Archaeomancer, Muldrifter. Turn the Flicker. Okay, we got a bunch of islands now. So I'll play Island. I'll Ephemerate the Archaeomancer and get back a Snap. Let's now Deep Analysis target me. Another Familiar. Play the Familiar. Snap the Muldrifter. Untap. And then what do I want to do? I guess I can just Drifter, Snap, Drifter again. Evoke the Muldrifter. Draw 2 cards. Snap the Drifter. Untap. Sweet. Play the Familiar with the excess mana. Play a Muldrifter. Okay, I've drawn a majillion cards. I have multiple foils. I have Ephemerate. We're going to get rid of the planes and just hold it up. Wow, that was sweet. Just full value town. I will now counterspell your Boulder Branch Golem. They'll pay 6 mana. I will, I guess, let that one go. I'm a little nervous. It's turn 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They could have a Bajuka Bog, so I just don't want to waste all my foils. They have a Haunted Fengriff. Okay, my turn. Ephemerate Mancer. Turn Ephemerate. Land, we have another Mancer. So we play the Mancer. We get back the Snap. We snap the Generous Ent. Untap the 2 lands. Ephemerate. Get back the foil. We attack for 2. Bonk. Opponent is going to recur their Boulder Branch Golem. Cost 7 mana. We're going to cast it again. I'll counterspell it again. They gain 3 life in response. Okay. End step. Yep. We're going to flicker. Get back foil. I mean, this worked out pretty well, to be honest. I have no complaints. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Get back Ephemerate. Play Island. Attack for 3. And then I'll just Modern Age. Discard the Chancery. We drew a Floodplain. Opponent plays another land. They cast a Brambleworm. I'll cast Counterspell. Leaving up, I tapped my Chancery and my Island so that I have another white that I can cast Ephemerate. Cast Generous Ent. I will Ephemerate. Get back the foil. And then I will cast Counterspell again. Counterspell. Alright, they're good. They're going to pass it over. My turn. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer and return it. Wild. Okay, draw, discard. Yeah, I'm going to discard the Dust. No longer matters. We'll get in. I think I want to draw 2 cards with the Muldrifter. So let's flicker Muldrifter and Mancer. Pick up the flicker. There's another island. Play out Island and play Modern Age. We will discard the Preordain. Discard the Prismatic Strands. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. They're passing. Let's draw some more cards. Flickering. Pick up the flicker. And we draw Modern Age and a Familiar. Okay. We'll go to my turn. Opponent gains 3 life. And then gains some more life by exiling a Brambleworm from their graveyard. Okay. One of our Modern Ages flips. The other one draws and discards. I'll discard a Familiar. I have too many Familiars in play. I don't need any more. Cast a Muldrifter. Another Archaeomancer. Cast Modern Age. Discard Preordain. Play Floodplain. Attack in for 4. And then I'll discard this other Modern Age. Unfortunately. That does reduce my threat capability. So it slows me down. I'm going to cycle for an island. Should I Ephemerate? I don't think so. I guess I can just flicker and then get back the flicker. Cycle. We're going to have to discard, so I will just grab a random island. Okay. I have come so far. We will discard the deep analysis we don't need. Play island. Attack in for a bajillion. Play Archaeomancer. Do we have any counter spells we want to get back? Get a foil. Guess I just play another Muldrifter. Go to end step. We'll discard deep analysis. We'll discard island. Discard one foil. Okay, they have a map. I'll counterspell. I don't want them getting their Bajuka Bog. And it's actually time saving for me to use the flicker to get back the foil than to use the ephemerate, because the ephemerate has all these upkeep things. Alright, my turn. Flip another Modern Age, play land, attack in. And it takes 13 damage, so 2 turn clock. I could have dug for another Muldrifter, but I don't think it was necessary. We've won the match 2-0. We're on to round 4. Round 4, we're versus Alevale. Last time I faced them, they were on fairies. The flicker and ephemerate are not doing anything in the hand. The Modern Age on turn 2 is good, assuming they don't just go fairy, counterspell the Modern Age. The Familiar and the Faithful are both very good against fairies. I think I'm keeping because I'm on the draw. I don't know if this makes that much sense. We're going to find out. They play an island. Okay. Last time they were on Dimir fairies. I'll play island pass. They brainstorm. They play an island. That's scary for me. I mean, I don't have anything to do though, so I have to just play the Modern Age. If they counterspell this, I'm pretty toast. Then I'm just like banking on drawing a land. They did have the counterspell, so my hand was not good. They cycle for an Aquifer, showing their Dimir fairies. That's why they didn't want the Modern Age on the table. Play Mortuary Mire and pass the turn. Luckily, I drew that land. Now I can evoke a Muldrifter and pray, but I'm so behind. So post-board, the Prismatic Strands aren't doing anything. We can bring in the Last Breath, negates, prohibits, trimming on the Prismatic Strands and some number of foils. We play an Aquifer. We draw a foil. I just have to try to take actions, so I'm going to evoke a Muldrifter. If I find a Chancery, that'd be great. We draw an island. I'm going to pass and discard the Prismatic Strands, because if they untap and slam Thorn of the Black Rose, I definitely lose. They cycle a Suffocating Fumes. Here's the Thorn of the Black Rose. That would kill me 100%. We're going to discard island, and I guess it's just Faithful here. No Thorn, thank you. Not a fan. Not a fan. Then they Bajuka Bog me, so I lose my Muldrifter. Need a card draw card. We drew a Deep Analysis, so once I get another land, I can use it. Alright. I drew an Ash Barrens. It's pretty good. That gives me white mana. I'm just gonna... If I put my Familiar on the table, then they have to counterspell, or they can try and remove it, and I can snap it back. Maybe they're just sitting on a bajillion Snuff Outs and nothing else. They go cast down, we'll just bounce. But this is an okay scenario because they don't have Spell Setter that they can use, but they probably have Spell Setter in their hand. They did this on my end step so that I can't just replay the Familiar. They decide to counterspell. Wow. Okay, so that was 2 for 2. Getting the counterspell out of their hand was pretty good. They have another Thorn. Oh, they have a Lorien. Okay, they've drawn 3 cards. Plays in the land. I can draw 2 cards and then 2. Terror! No! No! We'll Deep Analysis. And then play Island, play Preordain. We have to top both of these. So the Terror is going to be a fast clock. They cast a Preordain. I kept the Faithful because Tolarian Terror is a 4-turn clock, but if I can get 1 point of life, then I get the clock down by a lot. Augur of Bolus. So they're just playing blue-black control. It makes the Last Breath not a good card. They have a Behold the Multiverse. I'm going to plot the foretell the Behold the Multiverse and play Campfire. They get in for 5. I guess I have Faithful. I can use all my mana and cast Deep Analysis, but if they have another Bog, it's a problem. Or I can just flash back the Deep Analysis, and then maybe I'll find a Modern Age. Deep Analysis. I go to 13. We have a Snap. I'm going to snap the Faithful. I go to 14. They're going to snuff out the Faithful. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Not great. Still not great. They draw a card. They've got the Behold the Multiverse available. Plays a Murmuring Mystic. Oh god. I'm very behind. Behold the Multiverse. Yikes. Strands would actually be pretty good now. They get in for 6. Next turn they have a bunch more damage. Play Familiar. Draw 2. 5, 6, 7. And they have another Snuff Out. I will counterspell. Discard the Ephemerate. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just dead. They actually won on turn 2. All right, the Strands. Okay, so we're playing against a control deck. So these are cards that aren't necessarily good versus control. Counterspell, 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 counterspell. So that gets 4 of those gone. Maybe we want a Last Breath for their Mystic. Got one more Faithful. All right, we'll submit. Now I know what I'm up against. I can have a better mulligan decision. Okay. On the play. Great hand. Great hand. We've got 3 lands in 2, and I have cantrips and whatnots. I preordain. I'll top these. Send it over. Now, Snuff Out decks are pretty tough because they just blast the familiars and keep counterspelling all the rest of the things. Let's preordain again. So if I keep the snap, I make land drop this turn, land drop next turn. I think I'm going to bottom 1 snap, and I'm going to bottom the Ephemerate as well. Just a little bit worried about the Ephemerate not being reliable. And 3, pick up Island. I'm glad I bottomed both because we did not see a land. They play an Aquifer out. We find a snap. I'm going to play the Familiar. And we have snap to try to protect it from a Snuff Out. They're probably playing things like Dispel. They go for the Snuff Out. I will attempt for a snap. They have a Dispel. Yeah, that all worked as I expected. They cycle a Lorien Revealed. They get a Contaminated Aquifer. They don't have Counterspell up. They have a Modern Age. So we'll play the Modern Age. They have Spell Pierce. That's not great. We're looking for an untapped land. We discard the... I think I will discard a Mancer, unfortunately. Pass. Because I really need to be able to immediately flashback the Deep Analysis, given that I'm stuck on lands. Their opponent plays an Augur of Bolas. They reveal a Brainstorm. Immediately brainstorms. Plays out an island. They're working towards their Tolarian Terrors. We'll discard the Deep Analysis. We will flashback the Deep Analysis. Floating to 7. I'll float white just in case. Find a Last Breath. I can Last Breath their Augur, but that doesn't really do anything. I'm going to Modern Age here and discard the Last Breath because I just don't think it's going to help me. We're at 17. Last Breath was really just for their Murmuring Mystic. Augur reveals a counterspell. They get in for 1. Okay. We're going to flip a Modern Age. Draw. I'll discard this snap. Play out Faithful. And then I'll tap the island, pick up the island with the Chancery that I just played. Play a Modern Age. Gaining life. We can afford to ditch the island, but they might counterspell the Modern Age. They've decided the Modern Age is too scary, and they've counterspelled it. Okay. It is a scary card. It's a 2/3 flyer. We have the Deep Analysis to cast and flashback. Okay, they killed my Modern Age, which means they probably are going to Monarch. Gets in for 2. I'll block. I'm at 16. We're all at 16 over here. We've drawn no counterspells so far. I flip another Vector Glider. All Deep Analysis targeting me. Go to 17 life. Draw 2 cards. Yes. Okay, I will do it again. Go to 14. Draw 2. Yes. So we'll discard, huh? We can discard the land, I suppose. All action in my hand. 0 lands. 1 in Brainstorms. So if I can find a counterspell, we're just like working up to Arcane Mancer. Arcane Mancer needs to grab a snap, probably. They play an island. Thorn of the Black Rose. So they must have a removal spell for the Vector Glider. Draws off the Monarch. On their end step, is it a Snuff Out? It is. Snuff Out. Okay, we will play Sunscape Familiar. Counterspell. Okay. I think I just go for, let's see. I can Drifter Ephemerate, draw a bajillion cards. Or I can just Archaeomancer and grab the snap. I think I'm going to Archaeomancer for snap. Oop. Your turn. They've used 2 counterspells so far. Double Snuff Out, 1 cast down. Hard cast a Snuff Out. Gets in. Will block a creature. 2 Archaeomancers in the graveyard for me. I will cast a Familiar. Play land. We will bounce the Thorn. They Dispel. Alright, I will attempt to hard cast Muldrifter then. Fine. Just cast my Muldrifters. They play out a Seething Landscape. No attacks. My turn. We're looking for counter spells. Let's preordain. Haven't found any counter spells in a while. 30 cards deep. There's a counter. So I will bottom and top, play a land, attempt to get in for 2. They're good with that, so I become the monarch. Let's go. I mean, I can drifter ephemerate. I just feel like the ephemerate's a little bit risky. I'll try hardcast Mill Drifter. That resolves. Are they about to scoop? No. Declines. Just play Modern Age. They have a negate. Okay. Now I will ephemerate my Mill Drifter. I have pitch foil. They concede to the ephemerate. Nice. Okay. Familiars can be pretty good against a hard control deck because we just have value. It's just all value town. Let's try again. All right, here we are in game 3 of round 4. We are keeping. So I have preordained to set up lands. I have Modern Age. When it goes island, we know they're playing Dispels. I haven't seen any spell pierces. Lots of counter spells. So I like both of these cards. Top. A little bit nervous about maybe whiffing on card draw. They play island. And then foretells. So I think I immediately just put the familiar on the table. Boop. They could just cycle into a snuff out. Casting Behold the Multiverse. Plays island. We're worried about it as a spell. I'm going to preordain looking for lands. I'm going to bottom the negate. Top island. Play island. Play a Modern Age. Probably just discarding the other Modern Age based on my hand. Discard the Modern Age. But at least I'm filtering, right? I like looting. I remember the Looter Scooter in, what was that card? It's like a 3-mana or 2-mana 3/3 flyer vehicle thing. Smuggler's Copter, Looter Scooter. Modern Age is Pauper Looter Scooter. Brainstorms. Plays Augur of Bolas. If I find a land, an untapped land, I can drifter ephemerate. What are they picking? They brainstormed before casting the Augur, but they still are having trouble picking. That's interesting. They reveal a negate. We can't cast the negate this turn. I can. Untapped land would be great. We draw a deep analysis. I will discard the deep analysis. We'll draw 2 cards. Okay. So I have 8 cards in hand. Play land. Let's just Archaeomancer onto the table as another blocker. We'll get back to preordain. They're probably wanting to snuff out the Archaeomancer rather than the familiar. They still don't have black mana. That's crazy. Okay. We flip the Vector Glider. Let's try a preordain. We're going to bottom Ash Barrens, top the deep analysis, play the Chancery, pick up island. I guess I'm going to preordain here. Last breath. Don't think I need the last breath. I'm actually going to bottom both of these. Last breath and a preordain. We find a snap. So I'll send it over. I will discard the deep analysis. It's just a good value to have in the graveyard. I could have discarded an island. They're going to immediately go, yes, I finally found a target for my Bajuka Bog. Okay, it's in the graveyard. You got me good. Let's see. My turn. We have double ephemerate. Play island. So if I evoke a Mole Drifter and then snap it, they probably have a counter spell. They have multiple dispels and things. I'm going to attack. We only have the 1 negate. They have negate. That's a known card. Cycles Lorien. Now they have snuff outs. Wonder how many they have in their hand. Tammany Aquifer. 6 unknowns. They pass it over. All right, I will play the Chancery. Pick up the island. Attack for 2 in the air. Feels like we're ahead. I'll just discard the deep analysis again. They play out a Seething Landscape. My turn. Play another island. I will continue attacking. Apparently they have only reactive cards. I'm beating them to death with a 2/3 flyer. They're just letting it happen. That's fine, I guess. They go snuff out. I will attempt an ephemerate. They go to spell. I will attempt to snap. And I expect that they negate. So let's go no response on the negate. They have dispelled the ephemerate. I will attempt to ephemerate my Archaeomancer, which is going to return ephemerate to ephemerate the Sunscape Familiar. They go counterspell. I will attempt to negate. Okay. They win the war. Nobody has cards left. I have 3 drifters in hand. Well, Familiar is dead. We're losing double ephemerate probably to a Bajuka Bog. They cast a preordain. It's interesting. They just had so much going on. It was only reacted. They had to force the action. They cast a Thorn of the Black Rose. I have a flyer. Okay. They draw a card. Let's see if I can find another counterspell or a snap. Snuff out on my flyer. 1, 2, 3. We'll cast Muldrifter. Muldrifter resolves. And then I will Deep Analysis target me. Go to 14. Finding a snap. Let's attempt to snap the Archaeomancer. They might have a removal spell. The idea is that I can replay the Archaeomancer. They have a snuff out. They go to 2 life. You're at 2 life! Bro, you have a flyer? Plays Murmuring Mystic. They have a flyer. Okay. And a removal spell. Opponent. Brutal. Gets in for 2. What do we get? We draw a foil. I'll hardcast a Muldrifter. We draw a Faithful. Another Muldrifter. So I have double foil now. Yeah, we're going to counterspell this Lorien Revealed. That's an easy no for me, dog. Counterspell. Pitch the planes. Get in for 1. Oh, this is bad. They draw. We have an Archaeomancer, so we're going to go Faithful, Chancery, pick up Island, play Archaeomancer. They have 2 cards in hand. I can pitch a foil. We'll get the Ephemerate. They can't snuff out right now. Ephemerate. Get the Ephemerate. Ephemerate the Muldrifter. Draw 2. Okay, and we have a snap. So let's go for, I guess I attack. Attack with the Drifterino. If they block with all birds, they block with only 1 bird. So we'll snap a bird. Untap. Bird dies. Then I will snap my Muldrifter. Untap. And draw 2. Gaining life. I'm at 15. I got double Ephemerate going. I can pitch a foil. And then I will play a Familiar. This is sweet. I'm surprised, but very delighted. Now, what are they going to do? Cast another one? I can't let them resolve a Lorien Revealed, so I will have to foil it, and then hope that my Ephemerates can do stuff. Lorien Revealed. That's going to still be a no. Counterspell. I love Force of Will. So good. I hope people are sticking around to watch this game, because it was nuts. Okay, they've got 1 card in hand. Sorry about the sniffles. And let's see. Double Ephemerate. We will Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Return Ephemerate. Wait, we're in the game. We're in business. Ephemerate. They concede. We are 4-0 on to round 5. Round 5 versus Marsh Flats. Hopefully they don't have something crazy going on. They like to play weird stuff sometimes. I like this hand. We're going to keep. Hopefully they're not hyper aggro. We play the Ash Barrens, then we Chancery back the Ash Barrens. Then we have Modern Age for value. We have Snap plus Chancery to get extra value. Like on turn 3, we could Snap Colony Gardens. Probably this is a Green-Black Gardens. We'll play Chancery, pick up the Barrens, cycle for an island. I wonder what I want to do if it's Green-Black Gardens. I do have 4 counterspells in my deck, but this is going to be a big grind. Ooh, they're playing the tokens deck. Nest Invader. All right. Get in for 0. We have Snap. I'll play Island. Play Modern Age. We will discard the Deep Analysis and pass. Next turn I have Faithful, multiple snaps. I think I probably am favored in this matchup, but you know, is this the tokens deck from is this the one from Genesis? It might be. So a red-green tokens topped the Pauper Genesis, which was pretty sweet to see. Under the hands of Will from the New York City Pauper League. They'll put me to 18 here. Plays a Molten Gatekeeper. And Bristling Backwoods put me to 17. We will loot, discarding planes. I'm tapping my island and my Chancery, picking up my island. We'll go Faithful. Snap the Molten Gatekeeper, which gives me 4 mana. And now I can snap your token. Boink. Putting me to 6 mana. Untap. Slam the Muldrifter. Just leaving open a blue so that I can cast a Preordain. Preordain. Ephemerate Familiar. Whoo, buddy. Oh boy. That feels good. All right. So this turn we can, I guess we have to just play Familiar and then Mancer back to Snap. They're likely to have bolts and things like that. Plays out a Writhing Chrysalis. Okay. I can't really do too much with my snaps and whatnots here. I could just, Maybe I just play the familiar and then deep analysis myself. That way I have ephemerate as a way to protect my creatures. All right, Sunscape Familiar, deep analysis, draw 2. I'm at 19. I have a foil now. Okay. So I have multiple protections against removals. We can block the Muldrifter on the Chrysalis and then ephemerate it. If they play out the Molten Gatekeeper, I think that's fine because I'm just going to be going for Arcane-Mancer for ephemerate and then snap the Gatekeeper again. Play Impact Tremors. So I guess I have to force a will that. That makes me nervous. Okay, Counterspell, pitching the deep analysis. No, I'm nervous they have a bolt though. So, okay, play Molten Gatekeeper. I guess I'm just going to block an ephemerate. Why not? What happens if they bolt? Then I lose my Muldrifter and my ephemerate. I go Arcane-Mancer for ephemerate, snap, ephemerate, snap, draw 2 cards. All right, I think it's just the upside is really high here if this resolves. Okay, they bolted it. That means they can't bolt my Arcane-Mancer later. We don't take the damage. Arcane-Mancer, get back ephemerate. Excuse me. Ephemerate, get back snap, bounce the Gatekeeper, untap, draw 2 cards. I have a 20 life. And now I can just Ghostly Flicker here, gain a life. And I guess I'm attacking for 2. Bonk. Opponent is at 18. I'm at 21. I'm going to be taking 4 from the Chrysalis. If they tap out of their red sources, then I'm fine to flicker my Arcane-Mancer. I'm just nervous that they are going to have the ability to bolt it. They've used 1 bolt so far. I can hardcast Foil as a counterspell. All right, they conceded. Nice. Okay, we had a lot of good... Not any card draw coming up. Send it over. So, I don't even know what to side. That's hard. I definitely need some Hydroblasts. I wonder if I just don't play the foils and I just go 4 Hydros. That makes sense to me. Very much the same hand here. We'll keep a lead on a mountain. I'll play my Ash Barrens and pass it over. Second mountain, play the Makeshift Munitions. Didn't expect Makeshift Munitions. We'll play Chancery, picking up Ash Barrens, cycle, grab Island. I'll discard the Deep Analysis. Okay, they pass it over. I'll preordain. I'm looking for Faithfuls now. I mean, Chancery, Ephemerate, I can't really say no. We'll top, play Island. I guess I Modern Age. I'll discard the preordain. Ooh, they're running out of stuff to do, huh? We'll draw, discard another Chancery, play Faithful, draw 2 cards. I got 8 cards in hand. I can play Chancery, pick up Island, discard the Plains, or just play the Plains. But having the Plains in play isn't very good. So I'll play the Chancery and pick up the Island. We'll discard the Plains. Okay, opponent has a Colony Garden now. Play Island. I'm going to play out my Familiar. I will attempt to snap your plant. They probably shoot me with the plant. Yep. And then I'll go for a Preordain. I'm at 19. I think I can keep both of these cards. So the thing I'm nervous about now is a Pyroblast. I mean, the cards that I had on top were Island and a Modern Age. They play a Malevolent Rumble. Finding Impact, Tremors, Forest, Repurposer, Forest. They choose Forest. 3 mana available. Plays another Rumble. So this means that I'm free to just go Drifter, Snap, Drifter. They find Forest, Tremors, Tremors, and a Rumble. So they probably take a Tremors now. They choose the Tremors. Right now, they can deal 1 damage to anything by sacrificing a spawn and throwing a spawn. So we are not super worried. Evoke the Drifter. We're looking for some Hydros, though. Draw 2. Snap the Drifter. Untap. Let's go god-pharoah's Faithful. Land. Play Arcane-Mancer. We'll get back to Snap. Then I'll evoke the Drifter. And snap the Drifter again, going to 4 mana. Then I can ephemerate the Mancer for the snap, and then Drifter snap again. People say that you need Meeting of Minds to draw cards for free, but do you? Just keep casting Drifters and Snaps. You don't need Meeting of Minds. This was 0 mana. This was plus mana draw cards. Come on. Don't need it. Ephemerate the Mancer. Get back the Snap. This is just awesome. I'm having a good time. We'll evoke the Muldrifter again. We have 1 mana left over. I'll snap the Muldrifter again. When it says GG. GG opponent. GG Marsh Flats. And we ended up 5-0 with Familiars. After having a lot of not success, we just kind of got there. I wonder if this is the best way to play the game. I will go ahead and publish a sideboard guide for this version that will be out when this goes public, and I will see you in the next video.